Hello, friends. Today we are going to discuss how the education system has been impacted during this COVID 19 lockdown. Particularly in the last 1 year, we have been observing that all the schools, basically, particularly the primary schools, remain closed, and even in the colleges also, we saw most of the time they are all closed, and most of the time they use the online education system to basically provide education. Now, how effective this education, online education, has been in the last year, that is very much doubtful. And again, to add to the problem, now many state governments are announcing that particularly, yesterday the Board of Secondary Education announced that there will be no examination for the 10th students, and for the 12th student and class students. There will be exam, but that has been postponed. Nobody knows actually when will that exam be conducted. So there is a lot of uncertainty over the education, starting from primary to university level education. Now, at university level and college level also, we are hearing that basically many school children, many university going students and engineering college students are also protesting that there should be all online examinations. So let us start actually one by one. Actually, we will start with the primary school education. If you look at the primary school education, you can divide again this into two groups. One is the government schools and the private schools. And when you look at the, we should focus at the government schools at first. In fact, in most of the states, we see that government school children do not have access, and even government data also basically acknowledges this fact that in Odisha, we see that only 30% students could attend the online classes, and those online classes were also not very effective because the school teachers used to basically send study materials in WhatsApp, and the student actually basically gets the study material through WhatsApp, and so usually the child doesn't have a phone. The phone will be with the father or the mother or the brother of the child, and the child has to basically use the phone whenever the father or mother or basically the phone owning person is available at home. So it was not a very smooth way of getting education. But whatever, if you see the number of school children who could benefit from this online education, then that number is basically less than 30%. So that means 70% school children did not get any education through online system, and the rest 30% who could participate in that online education, that is also not a very regular basis, and even if it is regular, that is also not effective. So ultimately, the school children were left to the village tutors, if at all the tuition is available somewhere, and that way education was completely impacted. Very much impacted, and the physical activities, the interaction of the students with the friends and the school teacher, that was simply not possible in the last 1 year, or more than 1 year now it has been. So that means learning has been badly impacted. Now, government announced that okay, there will be no examination; everyone will be automatically upgraded to the next class. So that means, without getting education, if you go to higher level, then what kind of, just you are getting a certificate that okay, you have gone up, but then that doesn't actually help the child. Actually, the child has not actually got any education. So in fact, that one way reflects upon our educational system in the country, that we do not basically give emphasis on the learning. We just give emphasis on the certificates, because without getting knowledge, if you are getting upgraded to the next level, then it automatically implies that actually we really don't focus on the skills that a child actually gets from the school or the college. We only emphasize on the certificate. So okay, government did something else actually. So like say most of the state governments started providing online education, through television channels, through radios. But then, how many people really watch those online education through TV and through radio? How many people have participated in that online education? That is also very much doubtful. So that is at the primary level. Actually, we see that in the particularly in the government schools, the maximum people, at least 70% is school children did not learn anything. If at all somebody no only the education could be provided only if the parents are educated, and if a private tuition is available in the locality, then only people could get education. But most of the children, at least 70% of the children did not get any education at primary level. Now, coming to the private school, if you see the private schooling, particularly in the primary school, no, this is very interesting to see that even the private schools are providing online education to even the LKG, UKG, and class 1, class 2 students. Now, this is sometimes very, to me actually it sounds very funny. Now, what kind of education you will give to a small child actually who is only 5 or 6 years old, or even less than that, through a mobile phone? And no, on the one side the teacher would be shouting, and the other side the student would not be listening. The parents would be insisting the child to listen. So there is no physical activity, no interaction, just listen something. And so is that education at all actually? So that is one part, that no learning happens even in the private school, even if they have some money. So on the other hand, actually we have seen it's not that all the school children who study in the private school are all from well-off background, family background. No, they are not. So I have seen many families, although government has basically announced that schools cannot basically impose on the families for paying the tuition fee, but we have seen that most of the schools have almost actually imposed on the school children to pay the tuition fees. So family members have suffered quite a lot to pay the fees, because many of them have lost job, they have lost income. So paying fee also during this time was not very easy. And also look at the teachers who work in the private schools; they also did not get proper salary. And so that it's a very complicated problem. That on the one hand we see that the teachers who are working in the private schools, they are not getting salary. On the other hand, the private schools are collecting forcibly the tuition fees or the school admission fees from the parents. So, but we see that no teaching happens, no education actually, basically no effective education is taking place through this online education. And on the top of that, government announced that up to class ninth, everyone is upgraded to the next level without an exam, without any learning. So that is actually very sad situation of the education. Now, how do we address this? Suppose we say that okay, these are all problems, but then how do we address this problem? Now, coming to the online, now that no physical education can take place during this COVID-19 lockdown, because we all need to maintain social distance. We all have to now go for online education. But if you see in the last 1 year, government has not actually really done enough actually to build up the infrastructure for online education. So now also after 1 year, if again government wants to provide online education, it will not be success, because again, okay, if you provide education through television sets, how many people have television sets? How many people have mobile phone? So online education would not be again effective. So there could be one solution. I am just thinking one solution could be that in every village, at least there would be one place, or at least one family would have a television set. So we can have a community learning, maintaining social distance. No, I think from panchayat can actually take initiative for this. At in every village, at one particular place, there will be a display board. We can fix the time from this time to this time. There will be online class for the school children. So for a particular batch of students, they will come and sit there, maintaining all social distance, mask, and all that. And there will be monitoring. Okay? So the teachers of the school definitely cannot come to every village actually to check whether students are learning. Now that is the problem presently, that teacher is teaching on the one side, but nobody knows actually whether students are listening on the other side. So if we do this as a community effort, Now, suppose now some people basically in the village now will be basically monitoring whether students are listening or not, because that is also become a problem in the villages. Now, school children are not going to school, so they are all wasting time through mobile phones and all that. They are involved in many non-productive activities, which are even sometimes dangerous. So now, if the community can monitor whether the school children are learning or not, panchayat can always find out one volunteer from every village that now at one particular place there is a display board or screen where now online education is being screened, and all the students of that class go to that particular place and sit down there, and that's how somebody is observing that okay, they're listening and carefully and they're doing all the homeworks. So that way, I think online education can be made somewhat effective, but government needs to recognize this problem that through television set, through radios, through WhatsApp, the real education doesn't happen. Now, coming to the colleges, if you look at the data also, at 12th level, again, there are issues. Many students do not have a phone to attend the class. But the people who have gone to plus 3 level or UG level, there are some resources. Of course, network is definitely an issue. Connectivity is an issue. Recharging mobile phone, with data pack is also an issue. So in that case, government can definitely give some subsidy, basically, recharge plan for the students, and it can be free actually for the students. Government can subsidize, give coupons actually for recharging your mobile phone for data set, data pack, so that you can attend all the online classes. Government can even go to the extent of providing mobile phones actually, a cheaper phone through which we can provide they can participate in the online education, or again they can also follow the same method that again, because since it is online education, they have to stay back at home, and then again through a display board in the village, we can again provide online education to the colleges. And at university level, I think students can stay at the hostel and in their own rooms, and then physical class probably is not required. They can participate through online education, and whenever there is any doubt, students can come to the classroom and or the university department, and they can have interaction with the teachers. They can clarify the doubts, or actually at least alternative day, part of the students actually will come, say if there is enough infrastructure, they can sit in different classes. They can have sections, section 1, section B, 1, 2, 3, like that, so that social distance is maintained and the classes can continue. And similarly, laboratory experiments that should continue, and regular sanitization should happen. And but if you do not do this, then at higher education, people who are doing research, that is going to be severely affected, because nobody knows actually how long this will continue, how long this COVID will continue, whether this will be second. Now this is second wave. We do not know actually whether the third wave will come again. So in that case, can we just wait actually till it gets normalized? So can we just provide the certificate to all the students without any knowledge, without any skills? So I think we have to change our plan. We have to take it seriously actually, how to strengthen the online education infrastructure throughout the country. Both national governments and state governments should allocate a lot of money. Now 1 year is lost. We have really missed the opportunity, but now government should take it seriously. We should strengthen the capacity to basically provide online education, and teachers should be trained actually how to use a lot of online resources. Now that a lot of very quality online resources are available, teachers actually from primary to university should be basically trained actually how to access the online resources actually, which can be given to the students. So, and whenever there is practical is involved, I think they should stay in the hostel, and they should continue their experiments. So, I think that way only we can have some meaningful education. Otherwise, just giving certificate and upgrading them to the next level without any education or learning is not going to really help. And this will also, in fact, when we say that basically idle mind is devil's workshop, when students do not learn anything, they just sit idle at home. they will be involved in all bad things. So basically, a lot of time they spend on mobile phone games, and then there are so many other things, different unproductive activities. Children will be involved. So yeah, so I think that people from different walks of life, starting from the politicians to the bureaucracy to the civil society to parents. Now everyone should think seriously actually how to use this online education platform for everyone, be it class one child or be it university student. This is, I think, the future would be online education, and why not actually strengthen that facility everywhere. So that's all. Thank you so much.